This is May 14th. I'm in my garage. I've just come home with my second turkey. How's it going? My name's Steve Junkin. I work for the Forest Society, and we've been putting some videos together for folks to just enjoy and get kind of a sense of what the Forest Society is all about, and kind of get people interested in the outdoors. As well as woodworking with Andy. So this is just a segment about, I guess, turkeys. The eastern wild turkey roams New Hampshire's woods and fields, and I go after them. I really love hunting these. They provide a lot of excitement between the vocalizations that you hear, right when you get there early in the morning. And I found a spot that seems to hold a lot of birds. It's a combination of fields and woods and wetlands. And there's a whole lot of them roaming around the southeast part of the state where I live. Only had to travel maybe 5 miles or less from the house. So pretty blessed to have that. So this is a mature tom. It's got a full tail fan. So none of his feathers have molted, or all of his feathers have molted, and these are the feathers that he'll have for the remainder of his life. Kind of how youngsters lose their teeth. The turkeys do the same. In about a year and a half, on their year, the following spring, summer-wise, they're a year and a half, and then so two and a half is when you get a mature one the next spring. When they're reach their second season after being born the previous season, they start the process of losing these feathers, and it's not until the end of that season that they get rid of them all and regrow these, the feathers that they'll remain with. So really just absolutely so unbelievably gorgeous when you look at all of the feathers. You can see the iridescence in these things going all the way on its back and into its wings. And some of these back tail fan feathers this is from one that I got this earlier this year. I took all those feathers off, but so same kind of deal. Had to take these bottom feathers off, but he had black ones. I'll see if I can share that video. Black back feathers right along the base of his tail. The head isn't too much to look at, but specialized birds. Ears are there, and its eyes are they can pick up the slightest movement, and differentiation in color and stuff. So you wanna be pretty well camouflaged. The other indicator that it's a mature bird is these primary feathers on its wings. A Jake, a male bird that's only a year and a half, will have dark brown coloration from here down. Whereas this primary wing feather, these two have the barring going all the way to the end. This one's just doing a whole bunch of a whole bunch of strutting. You can see these feathers which drag on the ground when they're out doing their strut. It's just worn right down. Just absolutely tore up. So here's also the primaries of the bird I got earlier. Barring right to the tip. Not that harvesting jinx is necessarily, bad things, perfectly legal. And if you're a beginner, that's a great way to start. As I shot my first turkey was a jake, and couldn't have been more tickled about that. But yeah, biologically speaking, it's probably, it makes more sense to have the bulk of your harvest be the mature birds, to keep that younger class moving along. But just seems like this season there's been a lot of turkeys, a lot of them have been mature. They've been in this age class, so should be a good season to come to. There's this morning I heard 3 or 4 gobblers, this guy being one of them, and it didn't happen until 10:30. I waited. First gobble was at 4:45, which actually was prompted by a barred owl. Barred owls hoot right in the beginning of the morning, and that gets these guys, I guess, worked up. Owls, particularly the great horned owl, which I also heard earlier for about 4:30 in my hike in, will feed on turkeys, so they kind of have a special ear to hear owls, and I guess great horned owls are a pretty big predator of turkeys, particularly in the spring when they're the most vocal. What else can I tell you about this? So 10:30, it took a long time. They were gobbling like crazy in the roost, and then when they flew down, maybe a couple more gobbles, but that was it. This morning was cold, but it's a crisp, clear, sunny blue day. Light winds. Temperature was 33 to start. No frost, but it was cold, and it's mid-season, so I think a lot of the hens are starting to lay on their nests. This is starting to turn into a long video, so thanks for bearing with me. And starting to lay, and I think they've any day now. I'm sure chicks will start hatching. So it'd be interesting if any of you guys come across some hatchlings. Let me know. Leave me an email. Junkin at forestsociety.com, and tell me about any of your turkey encounters. I'm sure there's a lot of them out there. So where was I talking about nesting? And the males obviously are mating with the hens, and that happens early in the morning, and then the hens go off and sit on their nest. Some of them actually might not roost too. If once they've laid all the eggs they're going to lay for that spring, they sit on that nest for a good couple of weeks. Might have to double check that to allow those eggs to incubate. And then eventually hatch. So they're pretty vulnerable to predation. The turkeys are one of the most sought after, including for myself being included, birds to go after and try and eat. So many things eat them, including myself. Like I said, they're very tasty. I do want to get this thing butchered up and use everything I can, try and make stock out of it after I've taken breasts and leg and thigh and any other meat I can find kind of around the back side. There's a couple couple of nuggets, and I'll get the neck off, heart, liver, made stuff from that. The heart I like to kind of eat right away, but since it's been warm, I will need to wrap this up and get this guy, into some freezer bags and into the freezer. The other cool thing is males have these beards. This one was 8 3/4 inches. There might be, I thought there might be 2. Really starts out really thick, and then it kind of gets a little dangly at the end. But that's another thing that biologists want to know when you register it is beard length, spur length. This one's 5/8, and I weighed out at 18 pounds. So 18 pounds, that's another statistic they want to know when you register it. You can register it online now. It's because of COVID. They've allowed registration to happen online. I really actually hope that continues. It's a good way to go. Easy way for us hunters to register the birds. So spur length, weight, and then beard, and where you shot it, when you shot it, a whole bunch of stuff. So, but that's kind of the stats that they want from the bird, whether it's a mature bird or not, or Jake, like I said. So that's why it's important for hunters to know the difference between a mature bird and not mature bird. So, yeah, check out those things. Super sweet. Awesome tail fan. Both hands got on it. And that's about it. So, if you guys got any questions, feel free to shoot them my way. The Forest Society encourages hunting on their lands. That might be a question that comes up with this video. And I'd say like 95% of them are open to hunting. Always best to check online or with us. You can always reach out to us foresters, land managers, recreation manager, Matt Scatcha as well. Could happily answer your questions about recreating on our lands. But yeah, this is just one recreational activity among others that Forest Society supports. It's got a steeped history. Hunting does that is an important component of what makes New Hampshire, really American for that fact. That we can pursue wild animals in a controlled, sustainable way, and those dollars that go towards our licenses are put right back into the management of these critters, into the state fish and game funds that keep these birds out on the landscape and the habitat management and land acquisitions, easement acquisitions, access acquisitions that allow the public to use our woods and waters for so many things. Like I said, this is one recreation pursuit that's out there to do. So I encourage you to, if you're at all interested, is check out Fish and Game's website and go through the process of becoming basically getting your what's it called? I guess the Hunter Ed card. Going through the Hunter Ed class, so that allows you to get hunting licenses and go after these things. So yeah, again, gotta get this guy cleaned up, put in the freezer, and let me know if you have any questions. And thanks for tuning in. And I hope you learned something interesting, and hope all is well. Talk to you later. The gruesomeness, of cleaning birds is something to get used to, cleaning turkeys. But in the, days of 5th grade dissection class, doing frogs and all manner of things, man, we used to, I don't think I ever got to that class that did a pig, but yeah, so this is the gizzard. Comes from the lower part of the intestinal tract. I guess not the super low part. It's basically the turkey's stomach, and it's doing some digestion for the turkey. It basically is a muscle. I've removed it, obviously, from the chest cavity, and this was inside of this, and these are two muscles, like I said, that take what's coming into the turkey's mouth, and it goes, I think first maybe into what's it called? Darn it, I don't have all my turkey facts with me. When I post this, I'll put it up there. But goes into the mouth, goes into the sac, from the sac goes into this, and this is like doing a lot of the digestion. Actually, if you've seen turkeys eating gravel, this is full of gravel. Interestingly, it's gravel with a lot of quartz in it. You can kind of tell that it's quartz. But so without further ado, there's other stuff in here. This really kind of indicates what are these turkeys feeding on. The first thing that stood out besides all the quartz and the rocks, here's a rock, is acorns. Been a great acorn year. And I thought turkeys ate acorns, but all the turkeys that I've shot so far have just had birdseed in it. So this is kind of exciting to see a bird that's feeding on what is naturally occurring out there, which is what they do. I mean, they don't just solely feed on, rely on birdseed. Maybe some of them do if they get fed enough. There's also so I don't know, there's like a paste, and I think that might be ground up like grass and stuff. I don't see any insects. Is that a piece of corn? Nope, that's just a piece of acorn. So yeah, not much to see in here. Just a lot of acorns, a lot of gravel, and no birdseed. That's exciting. All the other ones I've shot, and I've been hunting for 4 years and 3 years. 3 years. Yeah, jeez, time flies. And yeah, and I haven't got one with that didn't have birdseed in it, so it feels like kind of a wilder bird, which is, like I said, kind of fun and exciting. All right, that's it for the what's in its gizzard. I might be mixing it up. Maybe gizzard is first. And just something that's kind of neat is you become kind of from a turkey hunter to a turkey biologist. And then from a turkey biologist and just, general science geek to chef. And if I get these pieces cut up, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. All right. That's it. Thanks. And stay tuned for hopefully more. All right.